Welcome, drone video fans, and this is the first nature video that I've shot with my new DJI Spark drone. And we're going to be looking at Mill Creek. Mill Creek is a creek that runs mostly through Lake and Ashtabula counties in northeast Ohio. We are about a quarter mile from the mouth of Mill Creek, which runs into the Grand River. So it's kind of small here, but back towards its source in Ashtabula County, it's much larger. And it actually, there are four covered bridges that cross over this. The Netcher Road Bridge, the South Denmark Bridge, the Giddings Road Bridge, and the Doyle Bridge, all of which I shot in my covered bridge series. And I'll have links in the Show More section in case you want to refer to those. I thought this was going to be a quiet shoot in a very rural area, but as you can see, a jogger, a lady came down here with her two dogs, kind of got my attention, and I found out how well the obstacle avoidance works on the Spark as I almost ran into those low-hanging branches. We're going to be flying at a height of anywhere from 12 to 24 inches above the creek bed here, and you know, I was hoping that by this time I would have a polarizing filter, but it looks like Polar Pro, which makes filters for most of the Phantom cameras, they just released filters for the Spark, so we'll be getting those and probably putting one on, which will help with you know, scenes like this where we're over running water. I have to say that the amount of coverage over the top of me from the various trees prevented me from getting any kind of a GPS lock. So and then flying over water this low was kind of faking out the vision positioning system. So there'll be times where it looks like it's moving to the side or back and forth, and some of that is intentional, some of it is not intentional because of the nature of the site at which we're flying. So you know, this stream bed or creek bed is all shale, and you can see along the sides and on the bottom virtually tens of thousands of little, you know, pieces of shale, each and every one of them a different shape, different size, different thickness. You know, that's just the geology of the area. And on, you know, the side, on the right side, you'll see trees that are perilously close to the side of this stream bed, and this stream does actually get much higher than this during flood stages. Now you see this log that's fallen across. That's what I saw first, but what I didn't see was right below it is another smaller tree with branches that extended down, and it wasn't until I got very close that I could actually see those branches. So I had about a 3-foot square section to go underneath the main big log, stay away from the, you know, shrubbery on the left, and stay above the water. I probably would not have tried this with my Phantom 3, but you know, the Spark is so small and agile that I just aimed in between it and pushed forward and made it through without any problem. And again, we get down pretty close to the water here. Again, there was probably a little bit of instability due to, you know, the canopy cover of the trees in this area. You can see various root lines both on the left and on the right. On the left looks like a couple of trees that are probably going to come down sometime this year, I would guess. And same over there on the right, you can see the erosion, which is about to undercut the trees that we're panning around and looking at now. It's pretty severe. And here you can see, you know, various colored layers of the and uplifting of the shale itself, the the stratified layers. So I mean, this entire area, part of North America, was under a giant sea or lake. For a moment there, I thought I was going to want to fly over that log on the way back, but I thought to myself, well, I made it through once. I can probably do it again. So I dropped down close enough here to where you can see the ripples in the water, and tried to line myself up as best as I could. You can see the craft drifting a little bit because I've got no GPS at this point, and just push forward and shoot through. And then once I get past that main big log, I brought it up a little bit higher than a foot just to be on the safe side. In the distance you can see me standing there, and then shortly the gal is going to join me and start looking over my shoulder at the video that I'm shooting and talking, and it's kind of a distraction when you're shooting. And she's got 2 dogs with them, and they weren't really bothering me, but at one point you're going to see up here one of the dogs decides that my drone is a point of interest, and decides to go out into the creek and get a drink and take a good close look at my drone. And the gal there, to her credit, called him off and made sure that he didn't get at all too close to my brand new Spark. Matter of fact, it's right about here that she and the dog had my attention. So I got one more good test of the obstacle avoidance system. I wonder how well it would have avoided this dog if the dog had come after it. But as you can see, he turned and looked back at the gal there, and she was telling him, not to proceed any further. So we made it past a couple of obstacles there. One living, well, they were both living, the tree and the dog. So we're proceeding here, and we're going in a westerly direction towards the mouth of this creek, which, as I said, intersects with the Grand River, and that's really the point that I wanted to shoot. And when I looked on the map, it looked like I would be able to get there, but once I got on site, it was one of those situations where there's no way to get there from here, if you know what I mean. So we just made the best of what we could on an impromptu shoot here, and it probably could have been a little bit worse if I started 45 minutes or an hour later, because about that point two bus loads of children from a nearby recreational center came down, and we're going to be playing inside this stream. So I'm sort of glad we got through with it. Here you see a little stone bridge that somebody placed some rocks and put it across. I don't know why, because the stream isn't very deep at this particular point, but it was an interesting point nonetheless. And we're continuing down here, and again you see a lot of the floor here, and dead wood and branches that have fallen in over the years from the side. The sides of the cliffs are pretty abrupt and sharp, caused by the erosion, and that's going to happen. Anyway, we get to about this point here, about the furthest that I wanted to go. I would at this point I would have had to get up and over some vegetation to proceed any further. So I decided to that was as far as I was going to go in that direction. Kind of turned myself around again. You can see the different layers of the shale on the side. And as we start heading our way back, we're going to pass over and see some more of the trees and stuff that's in order. It's a little bit silty here. We had some rains, and you can see in the background there behind me the gal and her 2 dogs are leaving, and I thought to myself, well, that's a relief. But they weren't really too much trouble. I've had worse problems on shoots, like my shoot at the Mechanicsville Covered Bridge, where a trucker stopped his truck in the middle of the road, got out and started talking to me during the shoot, and another truck driver came and wanted to pass, and he just waved him around his own truck. So you kind of have to expect the unexpected when you do these shoots. At any rate, I hope you enjoyed this my first effort with the Spark. It's very portable, and we're going to back it up here to the little carrying case that came with it, and we're going to land it on top of that. Thanks for stopping by and watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and come back again soon.